Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome to H&W Welders Summer Transfer Special as we move from Season 8 into Season 9, and it's a massive season for the club because we have to get back into European football group stages or else our finances at the end of this coming season are going to be an absolute disaster. Now, we're starting to have a quick look here at what we want to do this summer. One thing we'll notice is that the strengths scroller is a lot bigger than the weaknesses scroller, so that is massive. We can see what whoever it is here, who's just the assistant, someone's given us their best 11. I don't necessarily agree with all of that, but it's a relatively good side that we have. Now, if we have a look here, one thing I did want to draw our attention to is there are a talented number of young prospects. Keane is the closest, I think, to being sort of called into the first team squad. You can see here he's done well playing for the reserves, but the problem is this, isn't it? It's the crossing, it's the dribbling, and that no matter how good he is physically, he's not quite developing in that way. So I think maybe, although he's 20, maybe it might be a one to send him out on loan again. We did that 2 seasons ago, and he just hasn't really kicked on. The other one is Aiden Mason, now a decent striker, potentially better than Sheedy, who's our current sort of club-trained or academy striker. Again, he has the key qualities you want, except for pace. What he kind of has is he doesn't have pace, but he has a little bit of jumping reach, but he doesn't really have strength, he doesn't really have heading. He's a decent finisher, though, with composure and off the ball. So he's a little bit of an almost, but not quite striker. He can't really dribble either. So yeah, he's maybe not. Now, if we have a look down here at the weaknesses, the one thing that I did want to flag up, if I scroll down, there is a weakness here. Oh, you know what it is? It is, where is it? I think it's the top one here. We could do with more than just Neil Taylor in goal. We could probably do with somebody other than Neil Taylor in goal, although he has been player of the season the last 2 seasons. Yeah, I'm still not completely convinced that he's our guy moving forward. So, yeah, we've got a busy summer coming up, I think. If you have a look at the finances, this is our budget for the new season. So, just under $1 million to spend. And we have about another $5 grand a week we can spend on wages. Now, a lot of this right now is going into backroom staff. Which I'm okay with, because what I think it means is that we'll get the best out of the players that we currently have. You can see everywhere other than goalkeeper handling, we have the best coaches right now, which is excellent. Just generally speaking, our backroom staff is the best in the league. So that's what we want, and we'll keep looking to strengthen that. But we just need, you can see we made a massive loss, $1.5 million last season. And if we do that again this season, then we are going to be in some trouble. So a big summer ahead. Let's get the show on the road. All right, a quick update. We're in early June, or very early June, June 1st, 8:30 in the morning. That, of course, means that our contracts have expired. So a quick update on who we've released. We already knew that Peter Boyle had left. He still hasn't found another club, shockingly enough, although he's wanted by somebody. Dungannon. It would be lovely to see him again, wouldn't it? Jack White, who we only ever signed as a bit of a make-weight because we let Peter Boyle go, so he's left. And then a couple of youngsters have gone out as well. So we haven't done too much of a squad clear out yet, but we do have a bid in. We can see here Melvin Lambert to go off to Coleraine for $37.5 million. I'm hoping he'll take it because we don't really need him now. He's 25, so I'm ignoring this potential ability. Current abilities, I think, what we need to look at. And although he's been a useful player for us, I think we've just kind of moved past him at this point. He had a decent goal-scoring record, to be fair, but yeah, I just think we've moved past him. So now that contracts are up, we can start and scour the market a little bit. But yeah, that's a quick update on where we stand as of June 1st. Look, mate, it's not that I don't think you're a good player. I just don't think you're a good enough player for us. Well, mate, if you want to prove me wrong, the best way to do that is to go and score loads of goals against Linfield and Larne. So there we go, transfer window open, and Melvin Lambert has officially left us. He goes off to Coleraine for the fee that we said earlier. Yeah, could miss his recent good spell of form. The fans aren't sure about it. To be fair, I'm not completely sure about it either. But as I said, I think we've just moved a little bit past him, and well, no doubt he'll come back and haunt us because that's always the way, isn't it? So we can look to go and strengthen now finances. I've moved a lot of the transfer budget into the scouting budget so we can continue to scout Europe as much as possible. It's a little bit of a risk because obviously that's money we are therefore going to spend, and if we don't get into Europe, we may very well regret not having that 600 grand at the club. But we're going to take the risk that we get in there this year, and if not, then we really are going to have to cut back on a lot of things. But you can see the wage budget has actually gone down a little bit. Some of that was players we had on loan leaving as well. So yeah, that's where we stand. There's not too many interesting free transfers for us, unfortunately. If we have a look here and go to club, there's not really too much that I would say, yeah, if they come in, they make us better. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Of course, English clubs, will they have, when do their contracts up at the end of June, aren't they, I think, into July. So there's still a little bit of time for the sort of the rest of Europe, I suppose, to release their players. But yeah, let's get this thing underway. We need some signings. Okay, we have a first signing of the summer. It is on loan, and it's one that the director of football has found for us. It's a goalkeeper, Charlie Roger, on loan for the season from Hamilton in, obviously, the Scottish League. A B- by the fans. We've signed him as the first choice. Where is it? Say that here. It says that here somewhere. Great playing time. There it is there. First choice keeper. Only on £650 or £675 pounds a week. I think he probably is first choice, to be honest. But because he's on loan, if we want to play Taylor, we can. But I think he's overall a bit of an all-round upgrade. There are parts of his game that aren't as good as Neil Taylor. If you have a look here, Taylor in the blue, Charlie Roger in the green. So we can see there are little bits of the game, most notably physically there, where Taylor is a little bit better, and also eccentricity, that they're both negligible. But all in all, it is a bit of an upgrade. So that, I think, will give us a tick in the box for the director of football, and that is our first signing. Now, what this will allow us to do as well, hopefully, is send out Stuart Connolly, who was a sort of the backup goalkeeper last season for us. We're going to try and send him out on loan, get him some first-team football, and see what sort of potential he has. Obviously, sitting on our bench is not doing him any good, but when he did play for us, you can see there his average rating was quite good. So, yeah, I think it's a move that maybe works for us on two fronts, with that we strengthen the first team and we can send the youngster out on loan. Okay, another quick update. The rankings for European football have updated. So the Danska Premiership has moved up 8 places to 41st, so that's good. And as a club, we have moved up 69 places to 183rd. So Sigma Omelek, that's who, of course, knocked us out, wasn't it? They were the biggest movers. So anyway, that's relatively positive. It's, where would I say, it wasn't 183. So we scroll. And there we go there. So we're just behind Dundalk, just ahead of Académica, so on the Portuguese teams. So not too bad. Hopefully, though, we will continue to improve this coming season. Okay, so the European draw has just popped up in the news feed. There was no draw to actually go to, and it's going to be Polish opposition, which it's not the easiest, is it? Here's the full draw here. Let's see here if we can see who the other Northern Irish sides, if they have been drawn. So Coleraine has got Hart, so that's a very tough draw for them. You would I don't think they'll get through that, will they? We've got a Polish opposition, so that's a relatively tough draw for us. We maybe have an advantage of playing away from her. It's our Slask, I think. I recognise that name. And Linfield have got an easy one. They're probably higher seeded. Well, they would be higher seeded than us, wouldn't they? And Larne will be in the Champions League, so we don't have to worry about them. So that's not the easiest draw. We've got about a month. The game takes place on July 20th. We're on June 16th, so we've got just over a month to really get this squad for Europe put together. Yeah, Taylor, look, I know you've been our player of the year the last 2 seasons, but, it just turns out there's a lot of goalkeepers out there that are better than you. So I'm afraid you're on the transfer list. Yeah, look, mate, I agree. It's extremely harsh. But, here we are. Okay, so we have signed our second goalkeeper of the window. This one is a permanent signing, and, well, it kind of means the end for Neil Taylor, unfortunately for him. But £1.1 thousand a week, a first-choice goalkeeper. It was a free transfer. You can see all the other ins and outs of his contract there. Louis Dejida, I guess we would pronounce it. You can see already a decent player, potentially a little bit better, 22 years old. They're pleased, the fans are pleased, or they do think we're overloaded with goalkeepers, which we are. But this is what we've signed. I think he's a little bit more similar in a way to Neil Taylor, but without any question of a doubt, he is... question of a shadow of a doubt, I should say, he is the better goalkeeper. We do go and compare him to Neil Taylor. Taylor in the blue, De Gea in the green, and we can see, with the exception of physically, De Gea is just a better player. So that is, well, it is what it is, isn't it? It's it essentially, as I said, means the end for Taylor. He's valued at just under 100 grand. If we could get that much for him, it would be wonderful. What has De Gea been doing? He has been at Nottingham Forest, sitting on their bench, it looks like. He's played 2 games. Forest was in the Premier League. Well, will you look at that? Yeah, so hopefully he'll come in and get some first-team football and do a really, really good job of it. So, yeah, that's our first permanent signing. It's all change at the goal... try that again. It's all change at goalkeeper. Okay, we have another signing, another loan signing. Ewan De Rosa, I'm going to guess that's how you say it. We've got him in on loan from the New Saints in Wales. We are paying him £600 a week, so not too much. Now, he's transfer listed with his club. Now, the reason we are just getting him in on loan is because this way it's £600 a week. To sign him, the agent was saying £2 grand a week. So it works out better for us this way. Why have I signed him? This is, I think, going to be sort of a replacement for Joe Willis in the squad, and a little bit of backup in that defensive midfield role with O'Hare. Very good physically, not too bad mentally, good work rate, can tackle, mark, all that kind of fun stuff. He's not going to be a playmaker necessarily. He's been at the New Saints for a little while. He's been playing well in the Welsh Premier League. Now that the move over to the Northern Irish Premiership, it's surely not that big. So yeah, I'm hopeful that he'll be a good success for us. We'll be paying him £600 a week. And then Joe Willis, we can see here, currently valued at just under 100,000. I'm hoping we'll be able to sell him and get something like the 90 grand that he's worth, and we'll sort of come out on top there for this season at least. It's a bit of a risk because they're different types of players, but I think we do have enough creative midfielders anyway. So I'm hoping that that's what'll happen. 26, Joe Willis it's time for him to move on, I think. So that's the plan. We'll see if it works out. Okay, we have another signing, and it is another loan signing. I'm finding that this is the best way for us right now to get in quality that we can afford. So Billy Gribben has signed a 19-year-old centre-back from Preston on loan, £750 a week we're paying him as an important player. You can see, again, the fans like him. Let's have a quick look at what we've got here, and I think we've got ourselves a very nice little centre-back. The only problem I have with him is maybe positioning, but strong in the air, he's relatively quick, and got those key defensive stats for us as well. I'm hopeful he's going to be a big part of our defense. Can play either foot as well, so should be okay to play anywhere across the our back 3 or back 2. Last season he was on loan at Barrow in League 2 and did okay. So yeah, hopefully he'll make the step up with us now and prove himself to be a very, very worthwhile signing. Now, one problem that we have run into, and it's not something that had been a problem previously, but squad limits. We only have a maximum squad of 20 players over the age of 21, and we are right at that limit now. Now, Gribben comes in. Obviously, he is under 21, so that's fine. You'll notice we've got a bid in for Harry Nicholson. We signed him just to come in and sort of fill a gap for us last year. So we're looking to move him on. Hopefully that'll happen. That'll free up another space for us in the squad. Right now, we don't have Willis in the team, so he's either going to, well, if we sell Nicholson, that kind of opens up a space, so maybe that can be Willis back in. But yeah, this is a problem we haven't had before, and 20 players as a squad size is, well, it's not the biggest, is it? Okay, so another update, and this time it is 2 departures. First up, we did get Harry Nicholson out, 62 grand to Southend. He was fine for us. He did exactly what we wanted him to do, came in, provided cover last season. Played well when he played for us. We signed him for a free. We got 62,000 for him, 6 months later. That's a good signing in my book. So he leaves. The other player that has left us is, if we go up here, it is Neil Taylor, the goalkeeper. He has gone off to Crystal Palace, £96,000 for him, which is fine, a decent fee. Again, he was Player of the Year 2 years in a row. But I think we've seen that there are better keepers out there for us, and to get 96,000 2 years after we signed him on a free, that is absolutely brilliant. I would have liked, ideally, to get a sell-on clause as well, just in case he turns into something at Crystal Palace, but we didn't get it, and to be honest, I'm not sure he's going to amount to too much. So there we go, 2 more players have left. Come on, guys, you've got to be better than that if you want to be top players. It's almost like you guys don't want to be professional cricketers. Well, we should probably play some football, so... Napoleon, take over, will you, mate? And I'll take this. Hello? Kyle Hay, how is my director of football? You found me another player. Alright. Yeah, well, the goalkeeper looks alright, so go on then, sign him up. Alright, well, I think our director of football just may have done it again. Jordan McGreevy from Coleraine. You may remember him. We did actually play against him in the cup final last season. But we've picked him up on a free, which is absolutely magnificent. £450 a week, which is absolutely magnificent. This was all done by the director of football. I had absolutely no say in any of this. But a B- rated signing by the players. And I think he's actually, by the fans, I should say, and I think he's actually better than that. Let's have a look at him. And there we go. Not the best maybe in terms of pace, but he's a decent jumper, good fitness. But this is what I like. Look at this. Mr. X-ray vision ×2. Good decisions and composure as well. Decent passing and technique. He's only 19, so plenty of room to improve and grow. And I think he's going to be a good player for us. There is a minimum release fee there, which isn't ideal. We'll do our best to get rid of that, you know, when the time comes. But again, as I say, this was done completely by the director of football. And look at what he's done. He's played already at 19, 3 full seasons in the Premiership. He's been getting more or less better and better every year. I think he fits nicely into our midfield, I'll be honest. I think he can go in and he can play either in place of or with McQuaid or Cundell. He's probably more of a deep-lying playmaker than he is a box-to-box midfielder. But yeah, I think he's going to do really, really well. Let me know what you think. But he's almost, I'd say, our star signing so far this summer. So really, really happy to get McGreevy in. Okay, we are at game day of our first leg of the qualifier against the Polish team. And we have one more departure to announce, that of Matt Moran. 31.5 grand. He goes off to Glentoran. The reason I've sold him is that, I mean, he was a useful player for us. He was, you may have noticed, usually on the bench because he can cover centre-back. He could cover left-back. But I didn't see the sense in keeping a sort of 6th choice centre-back, 3rd choice left-back at the club. We've got Robin that can kind of do the same role now. So he was, as you can see there, he's been with us for a long, long time. I think we got him first year we came up. And he's never really done it. Never really let us down, but never really done it for us. So we've got a decent fee for him. He goes off to Glentoran. No doubt he'll come back and haunt us. And, well, that is the end of Matt Moran as a welder. Now, let's have a quick look and see what we've done this window. A quick recap. And I've got to say, I'm really, really pleased with what we've done. We've got 190 grand in. And we haven't spent a cent, yet I do feel like we've strengthened significantly. So, Dejida has come in as a goalkeeper for us. We've got De Rosa in on loan. We've also got in on loan Gribben. Hopefully he will be someone that stays with us sort of semi-permanently now. And of course, Jordan McGreevy as well. And if we do just go back to last season, we did also get in on loan Charlie Roger as a goalkeeper. We also, of course, sold Melvin Lambert off to Coleraine, and Lewis Hill. I may have missed this sort of during the actual recording, but he's gone off on loan to Institute, who are in the Premiership this year. So he will be playing top flight football, which is important. I'd like to get 1 or 2 others out on loan. I'd like to maybe get Joe Willis out as well permanently. But for now, and there's still a long time to go in the window, but for now, that is what we've done. So let's have a look at the squad that we have. And this is it. I think this is more or less the formation that we'll look to go with. So our striking options are as follows. Aaron McDade, Golden Boot winner last year. Diora, who came in for us last season and is a very, very useful player indeed. Thomas has come in basically to be that goal scorer on the bench. Good finishing, composure, off the ball movement. I'm hoping we'll see decent things from him this year. Cargbo, of course, as always, will be a big part of whatever we do this year. He just is so much better than those attributes, isn't he? And, of course, Sheedy, who came through the academy. I'd like to get him out on loan, but if not, he is that sort of that 5th striking option if we ever need a 5th striking option. Move back to the guys behind the number 10 role. There's 2 really that'll play it. There's others that are capable, but it's Napoleon, who was an absolute star for us last season. And also, of course, Mr. X-Ray Vision, Sean Simpson is the other option there. 2 really, really good options. In wide areas, Wilson will play predominantly on the right, but he can play on the left. The 2 options on the left really are Ray Fitzpatrick, who was again superb for us last season, and also Rory King, who is looking as though he could be a useful player. Over on the right, the only other option is Dan Curry. He's only a right-sided player, and Not sure if we won't look to upgrade on him, to be honest, before the window closes. We probably do want 2 options on either side, so sort of 4 wingers in total. And he is that 4th winger right now, and like I say, I'm not sure he's good enough. If we drop a little bit further back in midfield, now we know Napoleon can drop in and play this position. I do have half an eye on looking to maybe get another number 10 in and use Napoleon's just as a deeper player. But I'm not gonna sort of rush anything there. McGreevy, of course, who's come in, looks to be an absolute star for us. We've also, of course, got Lee Cundell. We have got William McQuaid, and we also have got Billy Baxter, who's a youngster. Another one I might look to try and get out on loan. McQuaid as well. He was only on a part-time contract, which I completely forgot about. That's been fixed. He is now a full-time trainer. Other options in midfield, of course, over the other side here. DeRosa, who we've got in on loan for the year. O'Hare, who's a good defensive midfielder, defensively minded midfielder. We have Joe Willis for now, though, as I've said before, I do want to try and get him out as quickly as possible. Glenn Murray, not sure what to do with him. Despite the other players we've had coming in, he's still very, very high potential. So not sure what to do with him, if we loan him or if we just look to play him in cup games as much as possible. The other one is Akisian, came through our academy. He is 17. He has now turned professional. He's a full-time trainer, not on the youth contract anymore. And we'll just see how he develops through this season. If we go back to centre-backs, the main 6 that we have is Paul Edgar, is Curtis Coyle. We also have Omar Robin, who can cover here, though he is here predominantly to be a left back. Other options, of course, Gribben, who we've brought in on loan for the year. We have Jay Williams, who is still decent, but is looking as though he could be for the upgrade. I mean, look at that vision of 1. I think he's legally blind. And Sobawale as well, who just suddenly, you look at some of the other players we've got in, and, you know, these defenders that we've relied on for so long, they just start and look replaceable, don't they? Very replaceable. So we wait and see. Sobawale, Williams, Coyle's younger, so is maybe we'll stick with him for a little bit longer. And Edgar, I think, is a useful defender with his positioning and jumping reach. But yeah, I'm just wondering if Williams and Sobawale could maybe be improved upon. Left back, we have McCullough, who has always done a good job for us there and still has a lot of potential, according to whoever it is that's doing this. Who is doing this? The assistant. Robin, as we know, can play over there, and Sobawale as an emergency left back option could play over there. On the right side, big year for Hall. It's a contract year for him. Also a contract year for Lyons, though we do have an option just to trigger another year for him. I do think we'll be looking to do that, but we'll wait and see how he goes this season. And of course, Mikey Bain, the youngster that came through our academy, he is also an option at right back. If we go to the goalkeepers, the 2 new boys in Roger and in Dejida. I think Dejida will get the 1 shirt to start the season because we own him. But we'll sort of let them battle it out through the year. And Connolly, for now, is the 3rd choice, but we'll wait and see. You know, again, if we can get him out on loan, I think long-term that's the better option. But we can see with the new players we've signed this year, his potential has dropped right down. So maybe we don't force it with him. So that's what we've done this summer. As I said, I'm really happy with what we've done. We didn't need a complete rebuild. We just needed to build on what we had. And I think, personally, we've done that. I'm quite happy with the summer we've had. It's big fixtures coming up next episode, though. You can see pre-season has gone quite well. We beat Hearts away, which was a nice result for us. Yeah, but this is a massive tie. We need... And I can't stress enough, we need the European money this year. We've already lost a little bit of cash. The wage budget, we can see here if we go and have a look at wages, it's gone up a little bit, but it's roughly the same as last year. But yeah, we need that European money, and we'll find out next episode if we're going to get it or not. We'll certainly get past the first hurdle. If you've enjoyed this, guys, hit thumbs up, subscribe if you're new. Let me know what you think of the transfer business that we've done so far. If there's anything more you think we should be doing, and I'll see you next time to get the European campaign underway. Take care.